August 4th, 2219. All deals.
Enter battle zone at 3,000 feet. Drop to 500 feet. And attack at low altitude. Go check it out.
August 5th, 2219, Third Fleet, Earth orbit.
Entering attack mode.
August 6th, 2219, Carthage Base, Cecilia orbit.
close range attack mode key. Active.
August 7, 2219, Judah Central System, Cecilia.
Bukan maksud hati ini bicara tentang manusia dan perasaan.
UAV field.
Entering close range attack mode B.
Roger.